You already know. I wonder if y'all like that intro. Well, it's not really an intro, it's just me showing y'all that VA splash. Look where it started, and look where it's at now. We bought this. When did we buy this? Like, literally, it's not even been a whole week yet. And this thing is pretty much gone. And I'm the only one drinking it. And then look how much I get. That's barely a whole juice glass. Well, that's what we call it. We call it a juice glass, probably like a whiskey glass, something like that. But I don't even like top this thing off. Like, I don't even feel it to the top. I don't. But I don't know. It's all good. But this is definitely gonna be like a regular thing, like, because I'll put it to you like this. I'm not a big like vegetable and fruit type of guy. It's like a select few that I like. So this is like a way for me to get it without having to eat like a lot of stuff I don't like. But yeah, I'm sore. Time to work out again, but no pain, no gain. I'll hit y'all back later though. Okay, I'm back. And yes, I'm back in these clothes. Well, what happened, I was getting ready to work out. Well, not say I was getting ready, I was working out. And then what happened is, I ended up hurting my elbow, like, pretty bad. Like, to the point where I can't, like, pick up, like, any weight or anything. And I already did abs 2 days ago, and I did legs yesterday. And I like to isolate my body, parts of my body to work out. So, this shirt loose. But anyway, I decided to just go ahead and do a story time instead. So, I know it's been a while since I've done a story time, but where I left off at is when I was in high school, my sophomore year. Junior and senior was also pretty hard. But, barely squeaking by. I passed, graduated or whatever, and then that was 2013 when I graduated. And that following year, it was still 2013, it was just back for school. So I graduated from high school, went on to college or whatever. Did my first year at a community college, but it was still 2013, and over the course of 2013, I was hospitalized 13 different times because of a sickle cell crisis. So around that time, well, it was actually while I was still in high school, that one of the cures for sickle cell was a bone marrow transplant. And medicine and science and everything is always advancing, getting better and quicker and faster and things like that. So by that time, after, my first year at community college, I decided, okay, there has to be some type of solution. So the solution became bone marrow transplant. Now, at first, when I used to go to get things, done, help medically with sickle cell and everything, I would go to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. But in order to, I think, get the transplant done, the doctor who was doing it in St. Louis was actually at Children's Hospital. So I left Cardinal Glennon and went to Children's, but it wasn't that much of a transition because some of the nurses and doctors, which was actually kind of funny, some of the nurses and doctors that worked at Cardinal Glennon actually ended up going to Children's, because some of them were getting they were CNAs at Cardinal Glennon, which is a certified nurse's assistant at Cardinal Glennon, and then they became registered nurses at Children's. So it wasn't that much of a transition. It was actually pretty cool. And after going to Children's, we found our doctor, and they was like, okay, well, we can pursue it, and there's no promises or guarantees that this was going to happen, just giving us kind of like the breakdown of how this is going to go. So we end up going through with it and everything, but beforehand, I had to get on the registry list to get some bone marrow, and there's like 6 different proteins that have to match up with my blood or my bone marrow in order for it to be like a complete match or whatever. and of course there was nobody on the registry that was willing to give bone marrow that matched my, proteins that I needed in order for it to happen. So what happened is, of course, you test the family members, all your siblings, parents, of course, just the immediate family. You don't test extended, you test the immediate family. And of course, I'm going to be half matched from my my mom and my dad, because I'm both half my mom, half my dad. I have both of their blood inside of me. And then my sister, she wasn't a match at all, so that drew her out of the picture. And after being on the registry for so long, and we didn't find anyone, my mom was the donor. Now, by the time that we got everything set up, it wasn't exactly bone marrow per se. That's just what they called the procedure. It was bone marrow transplant. But like I said, medicine and science has developed so much that what they do is they take stem cells and implant it in me. Now, going through that, it was a lot, and I'm more of a social person, so being inside of a room is like really not my thing. Like, I'd kind of like to be out and everything, but during the process I couldn't leave the room. So during the transplant, and that's why I have some props here, so you kind of, it's not really for you to understand, but to see like what happens. And I actually have a couple of pictures I will show you. Like I showed you a picture not too long ago about when I was really fat, and that was from me, prior, or I'm not prior, but post-transplant. So, like, in order for the transplant to fully work, I had to get chemotherapy. For those of you who don't know what chemotherapy is, it's a medicine that they usually give cancer patients, and it killed my whole immune system. Your immune system is there to fight off things that's not normal to the body, that doesn't normally grow in the body. And they had to kill my whole immune system, so when I got the new cells, my body wouldn't reject it. And then if my body would have rejected it, it wouldn't have worked, obviously. So they had to kill my whole immune system. And I got to the point where things were just, not okay, not the same. And in the result of getting chemotherapy, of course, it made my hair fall out, which I knew was bound to happen eventually. So I wasn't, it wasn't like a big shock. So it got, pretty bad or whatever as going through the chemotherapy and the process. Like, for instance, that was my hair. Actually, that's actually post-transplant. My hair was super thin trying to grow back, and it just like would not grow back. Here's even a better picture of when, it was still trying to grow back, but it wasn't growing at all. And it was, I wouldn't say that was what bothered me the most. It was mostly the amount of medicine and what's funny about it is when I was getting chemotherapy, my hair actually grew before it fell out. And chemotherapy is, one of those medicines that can kind of make you feel like real sluggish and worn down and beat up and all that. And that didn't happen. Like, I was up making jokes, walking around my room most of the time, and I had to actually call my barber so he could trim my hair down. So when it fall out, it wasn't like, big old clumps of hair that was laying around. So he came down and trimmed my hair down a little bit lower. So when it finally kicked in, it was pretty bad. So this was in July of 2014, and this was the thing that I had, a sweater that I had made for me. team tray, and then it also has the transplant date on there. You know, July 8th, 2014. And then on the front, it says, you know, one step closer. So, and that was used to say one step closer, you know, you just gotta keep taking it one day at a time. And July 8th was the day I got my transplant. And all the side effects in the world that could have happened at that specific time happened, like, all at one time. And it was really hard. That's when like the gloom and doom kind of came into the whole transplant itself, because like up and joking and all that I was no longer joking. I was no longer the happy, cheerful person that I usually am. So it was really hard on me, and I know it was harder on like family and friends who came up to see me, because they know me. They know that I'm not like, you know, like real, you know, personal, like keep to myself type of person. Usually I'm more of a person who speaks their mind. Like if I have something to say, I'm going to say it. And at that time, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I just wanted to be by myself sometimes, you know, because like you can tell somebody what's going on, but they don't really understand unless they go through it. So people can, you know, sympathize with you. Oh, I know how it feels, and you don't. And like the only people who really understand it or know what's going on is people that's going through it. And the thing about it, you couldn't even talk to those people who was going through what you was going through, because you can't be outside your room. Now you could call them, but you know, it's not the same, because there's people in there for sickle cell. There's people, like I was in there for sickle cell. There's people in there for cancer. There's people in there for all types of stuff. Like other patients, I was in other rooms in the same hall that I was at. But the only people that could really come in and leave as they please was either parents or the nurses. And that was the hardest thing, because you got other people that's going through the same thing, probably going through the same issues you're going through, but you don't know them. And, you know, the parents don't know each other until they, you know, actually sit there and talk. You know, they're not going to be there just because they keep, you know, so they don't talk or whatever. You know, so like they kind of got to know each other before the kids got to know each other. And it was real hard and stressful to sit there and go through that, and then, you know, just look out the window and know, like, when you first start, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel at all. If you never going through it or know anybody that go through it, so you think, oh, you know, they're going to get this transplant, they might be, you know, a little down or whatever, and then in a couple weeks or so they'll be out. It's not like that at all. It is not, it's nowhere near that. It's so much support that I needed, or that I had, that if it wasn't for them, I doubt I would be here talking about it, let alone here in, you know, in my house, period. You know, being able to do stuff that I do. Like walking outside, you know, without a mask, going to the stores, going to the movies, going to do stuff here and there. It's stuff that I do now that if you would have saw me in that state, you wouldn't even think it's possible. And it was so much, like when I say it was so much support, I had my immediate family, I had my extended family, I had family that I barely even know, like I haven't met that many times, because I have a big family on both sides of my family, my mom and my dad. But I had like family members that know me, like they knew me when I was a baby, so I don't really remember them, but I know them, and you know, I don't know them as well as I know some of my other family. I put it like that. And then I had people from my church, the church I go to now, Shalom Family City of Peace. I had them praying for me, and I actually ended up doing a documentary. It came on Channel 5, or I don't know who's watching this that lives in St. Louis or who doesn't live in St. Louis, whatever channel is the channel for you that's KSDK, you could go on their website and you could type in Frontline for Hope 2014, and I will be the main featurette. I'm not saying that for my self-gratification, but it kind of takes it. It shows you where my church family was and how they prayed for me and going through, and you know, all that prayer. I mean, I don't want to sound too religious, but prayer does work, and I'm living proof of that. Excuse me. I'm living proof that prayer works, because out of all the people that have prayed for me over the years and still do to this day, because it works. And I don't really know how to emphasize it more than that it works, but it does. Like, I would talk, I talk with people who pray for me and all that other type of stuff, and I just thank them like more than I can thank anybody. Like, thank you for praying for me, because I think without that prayer, I don't think I would have made it, because it was, I was always brought up in the church from when I was a little kid, and coming up in the church, you don't really understand, but when you reach a certain age or level of maturity, you understand, what it's for. And during the process of being in there for months, I wasn't in there for a matter of weeks. I was in there for a good few months, a few months, and I lost. Which, they say you walk by faith, not by sight. I lost my faith. It was a time. It was like not a time. It was more than a couple times. But I felt like, you know what? This was the wrong decision. I should have just let this pass me by. Or, because I was the first person in St. Louis to do the stem cell transplant. I was the first one they used for sickle cell to do the stem cell transplant. And I'm pretty sure it's way more advanced by now. It was 3 years later. Like, medicine and science daily, gets better. So, losing my faith and everything, like, it was points where I just wanted to just leave the earth. Like, I figured it's better being somewhere else than being on earth half the time I was in there. And to come out of the hospital and, like, be constantly going back, because by the time I did get out of the hospital and come back home to recover, I mean, I was on tons of medicine. Like, it was so much medicine. I don't care how healthy, how strong, how you train, how you eat, whatever. All the medicine I was taking would literally make you sick to your stomach. Like, I was taking, I'd say about 75 pills a day. And you could do the math if you want, but it was about 75 pills. And at first it wasn't at 75. It grew to that amount. I would take, about 3 types of one pill twice a day, so that's 6 pills of that. That's just one medicine, and I have about 5 others. There's about 2 or 1, And I was never a great pill swallower, so some of these were like horse-sized pills. And horse-sized pills are like pretty big. They're like that big. I'm used to stuff like that big, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of hard trying to take those pills and not feel sick, and I had no appetite, I had no desire, I had no will, no drive, no nothing. I had nothing to really do, and it's times like that where you find out who your real friends are, because I even had friends from school like come visit me, and then that's when I found, like, I really didn't want to broadcast that I was, in the hospital, because one thing I hate more than anything is people feeling sorry for me. I mean, I understand that, dang, I feel, you're in a bad position, it's kind of messed up, but I don't like the feeling sorry. Like, you can empathize with me and say, hey, the best thing you could do to me is when I'm sick is just say, hey, man, praying for you, get strong. You know, don't say, oh, you know, how you feel? How you think I'm feeling? I'm sitting here in this bed, this uncomfortable bed, number one. Number two, I'm hooked up to these machines going off. I got nurses coming in checking on me every 10, 15 minutes to see if I'm still breathing. I can't go to the bathroom without getting help and everything. And you asking how I'm feeling. Obviously, I'm not doing too great. And I don't mean to sound mean or ornery or anything like that. But, like, that's like a stupid question. Like, to be like 100% real with you, that's a stupid question. How do you think I feel? I'm not in here smiling, oh, check out this machine, watch, it's finna go off. I'm not doing that. And I'm not trying to be mean to you, so I try to hold my composure. So in order for me to do that, I just don't say anything. I just say, oh, not too great. And then I go about doing whatever I was doing, which is either staring off into space, watching TV, or doing what I do now. This music got me through a lot of tough times in there, like swallowing pills. I used to throw those pills up, not on purpose, but just because I couldn't handle the fact, you know, of swallowing it. Because all the medicines they switched me to was first IV, and then they switched me to oral so I could go home. Now don't get me wrong, I want to go home because I don't like being in the hospital as long as I was. And the food there was terrible on top of that. So, excuse me. So, I want to go home, and I want to sleep in my own bed, but I mean, just asking me, like, obvious questions. I mean, if you're not used to seeing people in that situation, I understand, but you have to say something other than, like, you know, I saw this movie, you might want to check it out, or, you know, if it comes out on DVD, I could probably get you a copy or rent it or something, you know, something that will pique my interest. But when I get to the point where I've been in the hospital longer than a couple of weeks, I can't handle talking to people, period. And it's not because I can't articulate or verbalize what I'm trying to say. It's just that I don't want to be here. You know, I see the same people every day. I don't want to be in this position where you got these type of faces. Oh, you know, I love you. You know, I hope you're doing better. Are you feeling okay? Is there something I could do? No, there's nothing you could do. No. If you want the 100% honest truth, no, there's nothing you can do. The only thing you can't do is leave me alone. I don't want to talk. I don't want to say what I'm feeling or anything like that. I don't want to be mean or anything like it, but I don't. You know, and I had my hair falling out, and I had these people they call Love Your Melon. They end up giving me hats. You know. Knitted hats like these, you know, with the little logo on there, Love Your Melon. They even have this one that came out, you know, the red and white for like the Cardinals or whatever. And I have more than that. Those are the ones I could find. But all in all, it was really a tough experience. And I want to end this video. I know it's kind of messed up, but this is Storytime Chapter 4. On Vlogmas Day 7. I know it's like supposed to be Vlogmas and happy and everything, but I had to get it out. I will probably try to wrap this, kind of get more detail into it at tomorrow, probably, most likely, because I'm probably gonna have to rest my elbow for a couple days. But I'm gonna let half of that just sink in. Just let that sink in. And again, I know it's been a while since I made one of these, but you should really Google it. And don't go to Wikipedia. Just Google sickle cell. Or if you want, well, I'm going to tell you more about transplant, but if you want to Google that, you can. Stem cell transplant, aka bone marrow transplant. And see what it's like. Because me telling you about it, or you even reading about it, won't be enough info on what it's really like until you actually go through it. But, like I said, I want to end this video here. And like this video, comment and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell notification button next to the subscribe button so you know videos such as these are posted. And follow me on my social media, which is Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. All the names will be in the description down below this video. They're in the description of all my videos. And until tomorrow, Storytime, Chapter 4. I'll catch you next time, guys. Peace.